What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And today I gotta tell you, man, some days it's hard to find news that it's gonna be interesting and that I feel like anybody's gonna care to hear about, right? But today has been kind of interesting. Um, the news has kind of just been overflowing at this point, really. I've got a story here. It says FDA settles ivermectin case, agrees to remove controversial stop it post. Doctors score win, forcing FDA to remove statements about ivermectin. Now, before I continue any further, this is not medical advice. This is not meant to be medical advice. This is not meant to change your opinion in any medical issue. I know this is a touchy one, so I got to be very careful of how I word this. But you guys know that I'm not very subtle anyways, so I'm gonna say what I feel for the most part, outright, other than saying don't do this, which I won't do. I wouldn't do anyways, unless you were like literally my kid trying to ask me for advice. So yeah, you guys. But before we get into that, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that good social media stuff so that we can keep it going. Join the flock. We'd love to have you. The water's warm. And let's get to the video. Come on, let's scroll down here. And it says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has agreed to remove social media posts and web pages that urged people to stop taking ivermectin to treat COVID-19, according to a settlement dated March 21st. The FDA has already removed a page that said, "Should I take ivermectin to prevent or treat COVID-19? No." Within 21 days, the FDA will remove another page titled Why you should not use ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID-19, according to the settlement announcement, which was filed with federal court in southern Texas. Now, you guys can probably guess why that's kind of a big deal, okay? Because for a long time, everybody that was using ivermectin or even suggested the idea or possibility of being on ivermectin should you get a COVID-19 exposure, the mainstream media was laughing people out of existence, saying, "Oh, that's horse dewormer." Now, this is not medical advice, but everybody knows that medicines are treated off label all the time. I myself am on a blood pressure medication that I take to help with my migraines. That's why I wear these glasses like that, not just as a fashion statement. But yeah, man, because the lights bother me, they give me the auras. So what do the doctors do? They prescribe off-label medications to kind of control my migraines because homie gets a lot of migraines. What can I tell you? Um, it says within 21 days, the FDA will remove another page titled "Why You Should Not Use Ivermectin to Treat or Prevent COVID-19," according to a settlement announcement, which was filed. I think I read that already. I apologize. Let's see. The FDA has not authorized or approved ivermectin for use in preventing or treating COVID-19 in humans or animals, the page currently states. It also says that does not show ivermectin is effective against COVID-19, despite how some studies it cites show ivermectin is effective against the illness. Kind of strange, right? You would think that they would want to give you whatever works. The FDA in the settlement is also agreeing to delete multiple social media posts that came out strongly against ivermectin, including one that stated, "You are not a horse, you are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." How like patronizing and condescending is that, right? Like we're like our biologies are so freaking different that if I give medicine to a dog or something for inflammation, let's say, that won't work on a human being. That's ridiculous. I think everybody here knows that that's not the case. In exchange, doctors who sued the agency are dismissing their claims, the filing states. FDA loses its war on ivermectin and agrees to remove all social media posts and consumer directives regarding ivermectin and COVID, including its most popular tweet in FDA history. Dr. Mary Talley Bowden, one of the doctors said in a statement, "This landmark case sets an important precedent in limiting FDA overreach into the doctor-patient relationship. We are extremely pleased with the outcome of the settlement as it is a victory for every doctor and patient in the United States," added Dr. Paul Merrick, Chief Scientific Officer of the FLCCC Alliance, and another plaintiff. The FDA interfered in the practice of medicine with their irresponsible language and posts about ivermectin. We will never know how many lives were affected because patients were denied access to a life-saving treatment because their doctor was just following the FDA. It's true, you guys. Think about it like that for a second. Think about it like that. Like, for example, my paternal grandmother, they said died because of COVID. I'd like to say she died with COVID because it's pretty obvious that COVID was taking like 3 months before she died, and she was suffering with COVID. No matter, even though she had a bunch of comorbidities, she was still suffering with COVID for a while before she finally passed, you know? And she was an elderly woman, and COVID was just, and this was back when supposedly COVID was really strong or whatever, you know? But how many people could have been saved? That's an unknowable, that's something that we knowingly unknow. We don't know, I mean. You know what I mean? That I talk to you guys all the time about the unknown unknowns. Well, this is a known unknown. We know that we don't know this number. An FDA spokesperson told the Epic Times in an email that the agency has chosen to resolve this lawsuit rather than continuing to litigate over statements that are between 2 and nearly 4 years old. Oh, oh, give me a break, dude. Give me a freaking break. You're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart or because it's so petty and it's so many years old and this and that. Give me a fucking break. FDA has not admitted any violation of law or any wrongdoing, disagrees with the plaintiff's allegations that the agency exceeded its authority in issuing the statements challenged in the lawsuit, and stands by its authority to communicate with the public regarding the products it regulates, the spokesperson said. FDA has not changed its position that currently available clinical trial data does not demonstrate that ivermectin is effective against COVID 19. The agency has not authorized or approved ivermectin for use in preventing or treating COVID 19. Ivermectin was approved by the FDA in 1996 to treat several conditions, including onchocerciasis, a tropical disease caused by a parasitic worm. In the United States, it's common for doctors to prescribe medicines off label, like I said, or for a different purpose than the one for which the medicine is approved, primarily. Because once a medicine gets approved, it's approved, you know? After some doctors began prescribing ivermectin for COVID 19, the FDA ramped up its campaign, including the August 21st, 2021 post on Twitter, now known as X. Dr. Bowden and 2 other doctors sued the FDA, arguing the agency's actions went beyond its authority as conferred on it by Congress. U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Brown dismissed the case in 2022, ruling that the FDA did not act outside the authority. But an appeals court in 2023 ruled in favor of the doctors, finding that the agency has identified no authority allowing it to recommend consumers stop taking medicines. Between the time of the ruling and the settlement, the FDA refused to change any of its statements on ivermectin and asked for a fresh dismissal of the case. Doctors Robert Apter, Bowden, and Merrick brought the case in 2022. They said they suffered repercussions after prescribing ivermectin to patients with COVID 19 and that the FDA was to blame. Dr. Apter, for instance, said that the pharmacists refused to fill a prescription, citing the FDA. This refusal delays his patients in obtaining their prescribed treatment when early intervention is paramount, while they look for their pharmacy to fill their prescription, if they can find one at all, the suit states. He also said that insurance companies were refusing to pay for ivermectin to treat COVID 19. The suit said the FDA illegally interfered with the relationships between the doctors and patients. The doctor said with regard to ivermectin, the FDA overstepped the authority conferred on it in the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Government lawyers argued that the FDA was acting within the confines of the law and succeeded in getting the dismissal. Judge Brown, appointed under President Donald Trump, said the FDA's powers were only limited with regard to medical devices. As there is no statute limiting the FDA's actions here, it cannot have acted outside any statutory limitations, he wrote in his ruling. Further, it cannot be said that the FDA has no colorable basis of authority. The FDA is charged by Congress with protecting public health and ensuring that regulated medical products are safe and effective, among other things. It's so funny that they'll push, you know, their jurisdiction or how powerful they are when it's to get more power. But when it's someone saying, "Hey, you abused your power" or whatever, they're like, "No, no, 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 no. We have it. It's a given. It's a given. It's a given." It's like, dude, what a joke, man. A 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit disagreed, finding that the law did not authorize the FDA to give medical advice. FDA can inform, but it has identified no authority allowing it to recommend consumers stop taking medicines. U.S. Circuit Judge Don Willett, appointed under President Trump, wrote for the court. The appeals court remanded the case back to the district court. Let me tell you something. Obviously, Donald Trump has appointed some good judges here, right? But there it is, you guys. So the FDA basically had to eat some crow. Whether they want to say that it's because of the fact that it's a year long, it's years, that this has been in litigation and they want to get over it or whatever. They don't want to retread similar ground, or whether they actually did eat crow, which is what I think. I think they're eating crow right now. But there you have it, guys. So yeah, so let me know what you think about this down below. Let me know if you have a similar story with ivermectin, or I'd be curious to know. I really would. Be safe, you guys. Be good to one another, and stay based.